Hello, and I'm Holly D with Holly D Traveling After Transplant, and I am officially back home here in Kansas, all 41 degrees in the sun and all. But wanted to do a quick little summary and review of Adventures of the Seas here in March of 2024. It was a spring break trip, and I have to say it was a lot of fun. The weather was beautiful. But let's start with Embarkation. Super quick, as long as you kept to your appointment time. We never stopped walking. We walked right on through all of the check-in, security, all that kind of stuff. Super easy on the ship, no problems. That was nice. And then the key cards are by your door, so you have to wait until the rooms are ready in order to get that. But we had no problem doing muster, getting a few drinks, all those kind of things, with just our sea pass, the actual certificate thing that you need to do check-in. So no worries there. Then we went and did sail away party. And while I am not loyal or have any standouts, each cruise line has their pros and their cons. And I have to say that the sail away parties are not Royal Caribbean's pros. A lot of just the old line dances, but also just a lot of the fun staff or the entertainment people standing up in front of you doing the dances and having you watch. And that followed through even with the theme nights. But I will say the last two theme nights were a lot better. That was their 70s party, and then the farewell one. They did a lot more interacting with the group, so I don't know if they became more comfortable as a group doing the party, or if those are just the parties they're used to doing. But definitely not one of their top things of sail away parties, getting you ready to go. Not a whole lot of people would be on the dance floor. A lot of people were watching, but just not a whole lot of interaction, which kind of, I don't know, that's one of my favorite things and what I look forward to. So yeah, but then went to dinner in the main dining room. And I have to say that the main dining room was definitely a plus or a pro. All of the food was on time, warm, the service was great. I will preface that with last year when I went in March on a Royal, I did anytime dining. I learned that is not the way to go at all on Royal. You want to do a set time, whether it be the early or the late, just so that you are in at a certain time, because with anytime dining, you go and you make your reservations ahead of time, for different times of the nights or whatever. But if you just go and make them that night that you want to go eat, you have to wait in a queue or a line. And it's actually a line. It's not a you check in on your phone, anything like that. You have to send somebody in line to wait for dinners. So definitely do an assigned time dining on Royal. It just goes a lot quicker and a lot smoother. But the dining room service was amazing, a lot of fun, a lot of connections, or they remembered what you liked, what you didn't like, things like that. So a lot of fun. It took anywhere from an hour to an hour and 45 minutes. Just plan on that. Some nights were longer, just depending on how many people showed up and things like that. But it was good overall. Definitely the quality of food was a lot better than a year ago also, in my opinion. Just a lot more choices, and presentation was really good, all that kind of stuff. So then after that, shows. Entertainment just wasn't Royal Caribbean's forte on this one. The welcome aboard show was a comedian that I wish we stayed at port to kind of boot him off, because it was not good. I was very tempted to get up and walk out just because it was that bad. But the only thing that saved it is the production, or the show crews came out and kind of gave you little snippets of the shows that would be happening throughout the week. But yeah, the comedian didn't score any points. Just stick to the shows. And the musical shows and stuff like that. But and then how I cruised is Mama and Papa D were with me, but I I did the family thing during the day, and then I did the nightclub kind of party scene at night. And so the club was up on the 14th floor, and I have to say that that is where they redeemed themselves with music choices and all. It was a lot of fun. The first few nights were very, very busy up there. Very packed, but they have a bar, had a lot of bar staff up there. They actually had servers walking around. A lot of fun. Like, it didn't matter if you were an amazing dancer or if you just sat there and tapped your toe. Like, we were getting everybody out there. Everybody was involved that wanted to be involved. The energy was high the whole time. I had a lot of fun up at the club. I made sure to write that in my survey. I was like, you guys made up for the sail away party at the club. So, but yeah. And then first day we went to Nassau. That was a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, have they improved that port tremendously. Like, I cannot say how much it has changed. It used to be super packed, jam-packed. You were walking almost like in a crowd, and if you tried to veer off, you couldn't. It's not like that anymore. It's really nice. The new port has little like villages where you can go shopping. There's a few eateries, a few drink places, things like that, hair braiding. But it's more open and spread open. Like, all of the piers were full of ships, but it did not seem crowded at all. It was so nice. And then once you got out onto the street, it was more open. There wasn't so much of like directing you into like a dead end to hold you for a while all of like the excursion people and sailing people and all that attacked you. It was wide open. They let you just kind of walk. It was nice and free flowing. It was very nice. So much better than it used to be. Like, literally completely changed my viewpoint on that port itself. Even the straw market, which has gotten a really bad rap, it wasn't as open or as like easy to walk through as when like COVID first got over. It's tightened up a little bit, but it's still way better than what it used to be. So if you haven't tried Nassau or the straw market in a while, try them again and see if your opinion changed, because it's night and day, in my opinion. But it was fun. And then the second port was Labadee, which is kind of like hard to talk about Labadee without like addressing the elephant in the room. We went while they were starting to do a travel ban for Labadee, just because of all of the unrest and violence that's going on in Haiti. But Labadee itself was very safe. It was just kind of like everybody knew about it, like the staff, the locals, the visitors, all of that. We knew about it, but we didn't really talk about it. But you could just kind of sense it in the air. But totally safe, totally clean. It was so much fun, and actually like interacting with like the locals and all that. It just hurts me that they're in the position that they're in now, especially now. We were one of the last two ships to go to Labadee. There's now the travel ban here in the US on Haiti, so they won't be going there for a while. But those locals, you could kind of just sense that they were like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to work or sell or anything like that for a while. So they were very welcoming. They weren't super pressury like I had heard that they could be. Like, mom and dad didn't even want to walk through the vendor area. And I was like, no, I've got to experience this. Like, I want to go see, well, if you don't want to go, I'll go by myself. And of course that wasn't going to happen. But we went through and they were not pushy. Like, if you just said no, thank you, and kept walking, they were fine. Yeah, not pushy, not anything above the top, anything like that. But Labadee stop as a whole was absolutely beautiful. The color of water, the nice sand beaches, the like trolley system that they have to go around so you can see the whole area. The zip line was amazing. I could probably do that every single time I'm there and not ever get tired of it. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, I can't say enough good things. They do have the staff from the ship come and work on the island in like the eateries and the bars and stuff like that. So it was kind of cool to see some familiar faces and By that time, a lot of the staff on the ship knew me, just from being out and about and all that kind of thing. And mom and dad learned not to let me order the drinks because they got a lot stronger when I ordered them. But it was kind of cool just to see them. And by the end, I was kind of like just walking through all of them, and they were like, "Oh, we heard you were out here," and I was like, "You guys have tabs on me." But it was just kind of fun of they were seeing where I went to next and all that kind of thing. But I am definitely saddened that that port is now closed for a while. Once it reopens, I hope it's just as magnificent as it was when I got to go. Sorry for those of you that booked and aren't able to go. It was a really cool port, in my opinion. Honestly, one of my top 5 ports, for sure. So then went to Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. Been there lots of times, but this is the first time I've actually stayed at the port, and I just found like a bar or like kind of spot right on the lazy river and just sat there all day and had a few drinks with Labadee and then watched Mama D go around the lazy river, talk with people as they walked by, listen to the music. They did have lots of different music choices, so if you don't like one area, just keep walking and there'll be a different music choice. But it was a nice way to spend the day. I will say that you can get sunburned in the shade there, because I did, even with having sunscreen on from like the morning time. I should have reapplied because I was quite toasty by the end of that day, but it was beautiful. It was nice and relaxing. Perfect port day in my opinion. The sea days on Royal Caribbean, a little lacking in just activities. Like there were trivias and like a few like dance classes and things like that, but there were like big breaks in between. And then like the ice skating rink was having some issues, so the open skate times were limited on the first sea day. By the second sea day, they did have them back up and all that, and I did not make it down there, so I don't know how that went, but I just kind of wish there was more variety and more, I don't know, just activities and just things to do. It's just kind of boring, but it was a nice relaxing time. But I'm just used to more activities, or at least like things to get into. Just a personal opinion, but yeah. So let's see, the top points of Adventures of the Sea were definitely the service. Whether you're in the solarium, out at the pool, down in a bar, just like down in like a seating area, the servers were everywhere. And it was so nice because you could actually go and be able to get a drink and things without getting up and like losing your seat or having to go wait in line or anything like that. They just came right to you. And I haven't seen that in a very long time on any really like cruise lines. Like there's only one I can think of. And on that one, you have to like raise a flag to get assistance. But this one, they were walking around. And a lot of times there would be even like 2 that were there. And I'm like, well, who wants to take my order kind of things. So that was super nice. But food quality, drink quality, all of that, so much better than a year ago. And I will say that the internet, while I heard some complaints about the internet, I had absolutely no complaints of the internet on Adventures of the Sea this time. I was able to upload. I was able to like surf if I wanted to surf. Scroll through. I didn't have any issues at all, which is completely different than when I was on Oasis and nothing would work and they told me you can't upload. So I was really glad when I could upload and not use all of my storage on things as the days went on, and like just keep up with my like traditional vlog style. So, but yeah, super nice. Sorry, you'll probably hear dogs in the background. It happens. But then Debarkation was super easy. They now have you pick a time on the app of when you want to leave, and if you'll be taking your luggage or if you need luggage, they'll deliver the tag straight to your room. And Debarkation went so smooth. They were actually ahead of schedule. So if you wanted to get off and you had like assisted luggage, you were able to get off a little bit earlier, but no issues there. We used GoPort and we just walked right on up into a bus and a shuttle. no issues at all. So overall, it was a fabulous trip. Royal definitely redeemed themselves from my trip a year ago. This was kind of one of those of this may may make or break Royal for me, just because last year's experience was so not good. But it's so much better this year, much more organized. I definitely will say that having internet helps, and that picking the early dining time helped instead of the any time where it got to where I didn't eat for the first 2 days, just because they didn't have the buffet and all that open. But all of that has been changed, and definitely a great time. The only thing I would say is then just a little bit more activities or variety of things, and to kind of up the entertainment. But overall, great trip. And I cannot wait to go back and experience another royal ship. But for now, back in Kansas, I'm going to continue to make those memories and not dreams, and live every day as a gift, because that's what it is, thanks to my donor. Make sure you subscribe so you can find out the next adventure. It's a little ways away, but not too far. See you next time.